Alright then, here we go. May or may not have forgot to turn off my crossplay before this, so it might be a little bit annoying. But yeah. Let's see how sprint is going to go today. Looks like we're going to have about 16 people driving today. Open a window or two a little bit further. It's boiling in this room. Netherlands and Spa, so one of the shortest tracks on the calendar versus one of the longest tracks. Well, laps even on the calendar. Could take a while. It looks like we're actually all but ready to go. Got about, well, got a few people ready, not right now. 16 people in the lobby. See how everyone's able to do. Hello, Cedar. Hello. How are you doing? Everyone to ready up and then proceed not to ready up. That's quite funny. And there you go. Alright, off we go. Sprint. Last couple of times, well, especially for last week with the changes coming in, was I believe reverse championship order for sprint for the first race in sprint, then the reverse grid for the second. This should be interesting. Netherlands is not a hard track. Netherlands is definitely not a hard track. Spa, yeah, Spa's going to have a few crashes. Spa's going to have a ton, actually. Wouldn't be surprised, especially after what we saw week one of the actual 50% season. If we don't get crashes at Spa, I would be a lot more surprised than I would be if everyone just started crashing left, right, and center. So it's dry in the Netherlands for the race. Let's see if one, it will be dry in Spa, and for two, whether or not it will stay dry. Probably will here. Can you tell me how to write numerically 11,000, 1100? 11,000, 11,111. 11,000. That why have you done this to my brain, Caesar? I haven't had food. I am not firing on all cylinders. Why have you done this to me? I'm pretty But there you go. It's like 5 lights out. It's lights out. Away we go. That's not how English works. It's 5 red lights. It's lights out. Away we go. Might be stable. It might be. Oh, someone got right down the middle there, Robin. Causing a bit of a problem on the inside of turn 1. Sent it down the inside. Moose stays in front. Now you get the choice. Do you go down the inside of 3 or do you go around the outside? One's gone down the inside, the other one on the outside, and Moose has come off worse. Musa span it off the incident with Robin. They came together. It did not look too great. Robin also got an awful exit on the corner as well. It just looked like an absolute shit show. Also a little bit of a collision there, I think, from the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull. Mildy and Luke. And you've got a couple of guys trying to make overtakes down the middle of the field. Mini Turns, Daxi, all trying to vie for their places. Joe also gets past Alu as we head down into the final sector properly. And I'm actually going to set up all the track map. Yeah, you might be right. I don't know at this point. I need to go and take a proper look at the message that has a lot of words and well, numbers and words even. And well, Mini Turns versus Hallinan. Oh, Hallinan having a bit of a problem on the outside. Yeah, brain definitely hurts. Hallinan having a bit of a problem on the outside, and Mildy also having a problem. Drops to 7th now as well. That was a little bit of a shit show in the first corner there. There's a few people getting a bit muddled together. The incident almost pushed Hallinan off the track, and then everyone else almost got squashed as well. Jaguar trying to overtake Bloodwave at the same time. And Mini Turns directly behind that, who was also a bit of a unlucky with the incident. Oh, Mildy got off! Mildy got into the wall! Mildy has gone into the wall, and he's lost part of his front wing anyway. Hallinan also having a problem on the exit here, just before the end of the second sector. Mildy just did not know what he was doing. Yellow flags all over the place as Joe goes past Daxi. And up into 4th place goes Joe. It looks like Daxi might be a little bit susceptible to Alu here as well. Alu going down the inside, down towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to do this on the inside into turn 1? Alu's still there. He's a little bit in front now, and Alu is going to get that position on Daxi. That was pretty well done by Alu to hang it on the inside. Oh, someone lost a bit of front wing. I'm not entirely sure who, but someone has lost a bit of their front wing. Let's see if we can spot the problem on one of these cars as we come through. We definitely saw body part, bodywork of the car. One of the cars come off there. Oh, and there goes Robin. He's done similar to what Mildy did, but managed to get the car stopped before he hit a wall. Big Turns also going past, and maybe even Mini Turns having a shot at Robin now. It looked like Robin might have been the one that had a little bit of damage then. He's not got good control of that car right now. Yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's a Ferrari. It might have been Matt that caused that. He does not look like he's going a lot at full speed right now. That's going to allow for OG Moose to close the gap a little bit. We got a lead from Ross all the way through down towards turn 1, and you've got a Red Bull that's really quick trying to follow him. As Luke goes onto the grass, that's probably not the smartest idea. Trying to overtake Ross, not able to do it into turn 1. You've still got Joe directly behind those two. Luke getting a little bit out of sorts because of Ross's line through turn 2. And then you got the turn 3 banking, and Joe's got alongside now, and Joe's going to have a bit of a problem getting past that Red Bull in a straight line. Going to have to try and out corner it, which hasn't been able to do. Luke's going to hold on to that position. It bought Ross a little bit of time, not enough time to get away from the DRS, but a little bit time nonetheless. And this, Mike, is why you do updates beforehand, and you don't get caught out. You got Luke 0.2 of a second, now within 0.3 of a second, using the DRS down into the final sector. He's on softs compared to Ross's medium tyres as well. That should be said that the front, well, 6 of the front 7 are all on the medium tyres. Luke the only one on the opposite strategy. Luke trying with the DRS now. He should be able to get this done relatively quickly, and there you go. Luke hits the front of this race, and Joe might be able to get Ross here as well. No, Joe is a bit too far back on the Ferrari, but maybe on the inside. If he can nail the exit here, that might have, he isn't going to get the move. That would have been one hell of a move from Joe, who's going to go the long way around this time, and with the long way round as well, dropping a position or two. Also got Big Turns right on the back of this. He's on his soft tyre. Bloodwave on his medium tyre, and Big Turns look to the inside for a split second there. 2 tier 1 driver. He's going to look to the inside this time. And Big Turns is going to get that very nicely done on the inside. It's not usually a place you see an overtake or an attempted overtake in the Netherlands, but nonetheless, it's one hell of a move there from Big Turns, who might be able to push one here on Jaguar as well. Jaguar in the Merc, he's going to have a go at Daxi as well, as he's trying to make his way through the field with that Merc. We've got a lot of people fighting up here. Joe hits the front of the race as well. And Joe effortlessly to the front of the race here. Reverse championship order does not mean anything to him, and Ross has gone round, and Bloodwave is out! Oh, and everything has just happened there. Bloodwave is out. He hit the back of someone in turn one. I think it might have been Jaguar, who may have just tapped Ross. I'm not entirely sure. Someone had stopped in turn one for some reason. It was definitely, well, Ross is definitely being tapped round. Or span himself round at the very least, and that caused a pile up in turn one. Someone had stopped dead in the middle of the track, and Bloodwave loses the front tyre because of it. Wow. Wow, that's interesting. That's a catastrophe of a corner. A lot changed there. Here comes, well, Luke's got a half a second to find on Joe now, and I don't think Luke's going to be able to do that anytime soon on definitely the quickest driver in sprint. Probably about the 4th or the 5th quickest driver in the actual server. On the F1 side, you know, Mini turns 5 seconds of speed in the pit lane. It doesn't look like he's enjoying himself right now. Whether or not that's just a routine pit stop, it's not a routine pit stop, that's a front wing change. Daxi versus Alu, coming out of the banked corner at turn 3. Daxi got a better run, but a bit too far back really to make anything stick. Yeah, he's just going to have to follow into the second sector here. I think it's turn 7. And you got a couple of... oh, that did not look great from Alu there, losing the car a little bit on the exit. That might open the door a little bit more here for Daxi, but both of which have the DRS. Daxi's going to have a go at this. And he almost had a look like he was going to have a go at this until he backed out into the corner, in the first corner of the third sector. Goes round now the second to last. Will get DRS on Alu again, but Alu now well within DRS of Luke in front of him. Which means I don't think Daxi's going to be able to make much of anything happen here. And in goes... I think that's Jaguar. Yep, Jaguar dove into the pits and forgot it's a 37-mile-an-hour pit lane. And gets himself 5 seconds of speed in the pit lane too. Hello. Hello, Bloodwave. What the hell happened? Don't worry, Dad. You have to tell me that. Daxi is getting really close here to Alu. He's doing well following Alu here. He's just not really able to make a move happen. Alu now outside of DRS too. Luke has had a pretty good lap. Got brake checked into turn 5 and lost the front wing. I need to pull up the stream because now I don't have an idea. I don't have any idea of what the second half of that sentence says. It looks like you just Bloodwave. It's entirely you. Mercedes parked on the apex. Yeah, it was Jaguar then. That comes off of Ross either being tapped or spinning, and I think the Mercedes knew what happened and started to wait up for him, and you just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time! And Daxi, what on earth are you doing? I don't know whether that was just trying to get in front, trying to make a split-second move. Either way, he's just slid himself into a wall. And there goes the front. He has to have a front wing change. Daxi? Well then. That is unfortunate for Daxi, who... Wow, that is just a mistake and a half. And Jaguar comes out in 4th, but he has 5 seconds. Due to the speeding in the pit lane, he might have a bit more than that coming from the stewards in a minute too. Here comes Luke. Luke, Alu and Jaguar all right beside each other right now, and I can't imagine a world where this ends very well. Here comes, well, Jaguar almost looked for that. Would have been a very interesting place to pick your move. I've seen a couple of people pick the move here, but not in the corner before it. Luke on the medium tyres now is going to start falling away, even in that Red Bull. Alu should take probably a top 2 from here. Joe now goes into the pits on lap 9 of 18 here. Should come in and out of the pits comfortably in the lead. Even though Luke's undercutting. To be fair, here comes Alu with the DRS. Alu with the DRS and the soft tyres. Easily done. Alu up into second. Joe is coming out of the pits now. They're going to go through turn 1. Joe is coming out of the pit lane. So Joe has about a 2-second lead. Which is probably enough for Joe to win this race from here. Luke still holding off Jaguar, even though Jaguar's got 5 seconds. And would probably need a miracle to find his way onto the podium from here. Robin in 5th, Swen in 6th, Daxi in 7th after having to have his wing changed very late on before his pit stop. Literally the final corner, just gets it all wrong and slams himself into a barrier. Daxi also trying to go after Swen. Daxi on the inside, maybe having a good go at this if he can get the run before he's collided into by Swen. But Daxi on the outside with the run of his life there through the corner, and he just got that one entirely right on the outside of Swen, and he could not get that more right. Daxi might be about to get one right here on Robin too. On the soft tyres proving very beneficial at this point in the race. Daxi on the inside with the DRS makes mincemeat of Robin down the straight there and up into 5th place. He currently isn't within the range of Jaguar. You're gonna have to find some time, and immediately finds the time to be within a 10th of that gap, but probably still not enough until now, which is enough, and he's well within that 5-second gap. He's got to start flying a little bit here, Daxi. He might find himself, well, maybe not on a podium, but definitely in the top 4. Got a little bit of train forming behind Dax here, and soon be forming behind Robin, considering Robin's out of DRS now. Daxi is definitely in a better place on those soft tyres. Alu 2.3 seconds behind Joe, so Joe should have this one relatively covered. He probably should win this one from here on out, so reverse championship order, not really doing anything to dent Joe in this championship. Luke in 3rd. He's going to count this as a good day. And Joe just set the fastest lap of the race so far as well. And now Daxi's 3.7 seconds behind Jaguar, who must have got something wrong, lost an entire second on Luke as well. And Swen gets past Robin. The 2 Alpines fighting each other. And here comes Robin, looking to the inside of turn 1. Oh, Robin! Robin's out! Robin's out! Oh, he may have just overcorrected himself out of turn 1 there. And if you just overcorrect yourself too much, then turn 1's going to eat you alive. Especially on the barrier on the inside of turn 1. You get that wrong, you get that, and you are tasting that wall very quickly. 3.2 seconds now split the lead. You also got Luke there in 3rd, who's just getting a little bit out of sorts just before the end of the 2nd sector. He's actually within the DRS of Alu at the moment. Maybe he might be able to fight his position back. Jaguar 2.5 seconds ahead of Daxi in 5th. His 5-second time penalty might even end up bringing Swen into this. You got big turns directly behind Swen. Yeah, red flags need to be turned up. And you got, here comes big turns on the inside here of Swen. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. We just saw one incident in turn 1. Big turns wisely avoiding the inside curb and gets himself nicely on the inside of Swen and gets that move done. Didn't really take much doing in the end after you watched that back. Big Turns now has a little bit of a mountain to climb to try and get himself within Jaguar's 5-second time penalty if he wants an extra position. Daxi 4 seconds up the road. Daxi also now within 2 seconds of Jaguar. However, he won't be able to get anything higher than 4th Daxi, but probably might be able to get 4th on track at this rate. We're down 2 people, Robin and Bloodwave, both helpers. And actually 2 of the 3 helpers in the actual race itself, I'm pretty sure, actually crashed out. Alu versus Luke. Alu getting overtaken by Luke there, and Luke's going to 3 tiers lower than Joe and 2 tiers lower than Alu, I'm pretty sure. Either that or 2 and 1. Certainly not higher than the tier 3. And he's holding his own here. And that's the aim of Sprint, to try and level all this out. Daxi within half a second of Jaguar now as well, and he's driven an almost perfect race apart from that one mistake with Alu, which would have seen Daxi probably onto a podium by now. And here comes Daxi on the inside, and then the outside. He'd done that very nicely. Jaguar just didn't seem to get going out of that corner whatsoever, and Daxi's going to get that position. And by the looks of it, so is Big Turns, considering Big Turns is within that 5-second time penalty on Jaguar. Swen may be in for a chance of that too. Mini Turns has sped himself, so that ends any hope of that happening. Alu gonna fight back against Luke, but not this lap. Luke seemingly having a fun time at the moment. He's going to try and take his 2nd place into the next race and try and carve his way through the field. Obviously a reverse grid for the 2nd race. At Spa, a lot of incidents may open up the opportunity to carve through the field. Mini Turns is right behind Swen as well. Swen seems to be going backwards, not forwards. And Mildy round the outside here against Moose. And it looks like Moose is going to be able to have a good go at this. They're going to go side by side into turn 3, and now into the banking. Low for Mildy, high for Moose, and it's maybe a switchback attempt. This would be excellent for Moose if he can get the exit, but he doesn't get the exit, and Mildy gets 11th place for now. I say for now as he shuts the door right on Moose going through turn 7. Hallinan and Ross are going at it. Ross getting by and keeping that position on Hallinan. Ross 6 seconds behind Mini Turns. In that period, well, in this case, Ross needs about a 1.5 seconds to get Mini Turns, because of Mini Turns' 5-second time penalty. As Mini Turns is about to try and launch his way down on Swen and doesn't get close enough down towards turn 1 to really make anything impactful happen. Going to be right on the back of him out of turn 1 though, and into turn 2, now turn 3, and then the turn 4 banking. And it's still just not there for Mini Turns on Swen, is it? Alu not there against Luke either. We currently watch lap 16 of 18. We're down 2 people, Bloodwave and Robin both out of the session, both in turn 1 incidents. Mini Turns on the inside, looked for it for a split second, gonna look for it now too. Swen on the outside, and now the inside of the following corner. We've seen a couple of these moves stick, and it looks like Mini Turns on the outside could get a better run, is gonna make it stick with the DRS as well. A little bit of help on the inside now, gets it done, and that was pretty nicely done. I don't think Swen's going to be close. Well, actually, Swen might be close enough if he could get the second to last corner right. He's definitely not close enough now to get back at him on the straight here. Unless I'm completely wrong, here comes Swen to the inside, and he is close enough to get back at him and gets the position back immediately. Mini Turns looking to the inside to try and force the switchback. And he doesn't really get it at all. And Mini Turns are just going to have to sit for another lap. Maybe pick the wrong point in time to try and make an overtake. Swen gets it done pretty nicely. Yeah, it is pretty slow on a straight line. Even after the performance updates. I know they did a performance update. I'm not sure what the yeah, Mini is going to end probably 8th. I don't think Ross is going to be able to get close enough. But yeah, Mini is in a perfect place right now, especially if he can get a little bit closer in this third sector. He should be able to use the DRS, the slipstream, and everything else to get realistically by this. And in turn 1, we're actually going to continue to watch this for a split second. Alu's going to get by. In also big turns is going to get by on the straight against Jaguar 2. And now we're going to watch Swen versus Mini Turns, who is a little bit closer than we last saw him. But is he close enough to get a move into turn 1? Not even close. Not even close. That McLaren's straight line speed is abysmal. Ross versus Hallinan all over again. These two side by side going through turn 2, now turn 3. And Hallinan has got that position. Ross getting all out of sorts out of turn 3, and Hallinan got that position until penalties there. Entering. Someone span now. That's Moose. Moose spanning turn 2. That's unfortunate for Moose. He was starting to work his way back up the grid. Have to start. Oh, Luke. Playing and dancing with the devil a little bit there. On the exit of the third to last, Joe goes over the line to win in the Netherlands. And quite frankly, that was not even a contest. Alu in second, Luke in third, Daxi's going to get fourth. Daxi's done a good race too. Big Turn's going to get fifth, ninth. Yeah, Ross going to hit ninth, Hallinan in 10th, and Saeed, who I don't think I've mentioned this entire race, is going to crawl over the line in 11th. Mildy right behind him in 12th place. Joe and Alu got through so easily. Yeah, Mini Turns just did not. I can only assume it's a setup. A combination of the car last of the finishers. And there you go, that's the end of the first race. Joe, comfortably from the back, all the way to the front, carved through the entire grid to win the first one. There is no stopping Joe in this championship whatsoever. There you go, that's the end of the first race. Spa, the second race to come. We'll wait and see whether or not things are going to work out in a similar fashion to what it did at the here at Zandvoort. So Joe first, Alu second, Luke third. That's your first podium of the week. Daxi comes fourth. He had a good day. Big Turns also making ground. Jaguar probably a little bit disappointed that he did not take advantage of his Mercedes in the first one anyway. Swen in 7th, Mini Turns 8th, Ross 9th, probably going to get a good chance in the Ferrari on the return. Hallinan 10th in the Mercedes, probably also going to get a second chance later here at Spa. But a few of the guys probably not too happy with the way that race went. Hello, Said. We wait for Robin to set up the grid, which means we'll get about 5 minutes of time here between the two races. It looks like we'll have a race at 35, so 6 minutes before we end up going again. I'm having a quick watch of what happened to Bloodwave. This was impressive. Okay. Well then. Well then indeed. A lot of things happened in that race. There was a lot of there was a lot of things that happened, especially that turn one. I wanna go back and have a look at what happened in that particular turn one. But well, I guess I'll wait and see until after But yeah, we've got a couple of minutes to go, and just a bunch of interesting reports to come. I think not going to get a second chance to see anything before Spa. Well, it looked like Mike is joining us for the second race, and I think Rigo might be too. So we're going to have at least 17 for the next one. Maybe Rigo's joining us for the second race. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, Rigo's here. Mike should be joining any minute. But yeah, no. Spa, if we thought Zandvoort was a little bit dodgy, Spa, I can't wait to see what happens. I cannot wait to see what is going on here. Mike shouldn't be too far away. We'll have 18 for the race here, I'm pretty sure. $11 laps of Spa. It was, in fact, a combination of low wing for Swen and high wings for mini turns and the cars. Yep. Okay, this would explain more why it was impossible for but yeah. Alright, there's another minute or two. This should be Rigo and Mike starting from the back in this one because they joined very late in terms of the actual day itself. They only have one race tonight instead of two. Waiting on the go-ahead from Robin. As I cannot wait to see what a horror. Maybe we get a repeat in the second go around here. But as we load into Belgium. 11 laps around Spa, minute 42-ish a lap. On the reversed grid. I'm just expecting a ton of incidents at this point. It'd be very akin to what sprint itself is. You want now? That's not enough.